kind of have that stuck in my head right now about, when that little girl told me um something about Stella understanding so many words. And she's like, our dogs only understand yelling. It's like people just don't. Well, I mean, this is a child, but I mean, she's getting her information from somewhere. And it is, people just don't understand. You create that. You create that in the dog because all you do is yell at them. So that's all that they get from you. So they don't know. Like, you're not teaching them any words. And it bothers me when I'm around some people who are just constantly yelling and hitting their dog, just like their dog's stupid. It's like, your dog doesn't know what you want. You are the one who is causing the chaos for the dog. You're just, really, it is like, what is it you want from this dog? What is your need for this dog? What, I mean, there's a lot of people who have a lot of dogs and they don't give any kind of relationship with the dog. They just are, I don't know. It's very much like the humans that get caught that are kept in cages, huh? In other places. And they're just kept in cages like birds. There's just so much about us learning to respect other animals and other beings and all forms of life. And yesterday, I'm still having that where I feel like I can't catch my breath or something. Feels so intense in my chest. And I feel just drained, but not tired. Like lack of motivation, lack of energy, but I don't feel sleepy. Like I could lay down and it is really, well, because I got up this morning even at, I think it was like 2:30. And another weird thing too that I keep noticing is I can be in my room and I'll start hearing a bunch of sounds. Like Stella's out here and I'll start hearing a bunch of sounds where I think, is she just laying out there crying? So it wakes you up more and more where you're sitting there listening and listening. Like, what is she doing? Is she moaning? Is she whimpering? What is that sound? And it really draws your attention out of that kind of sleep. It pulls it forward, pulls your consciousness into awareness of what's happening. And then it is at that point too, for me, I've had enough sleep that I don't feel super tired. In a few hours, I'll probably feel super tired again. I'll try and doze off and I'll get interrupted as usual. But so I was laying there because I wanted to go back to sleep because she did start crying. I got up, I gave her some medicine, went pee, went and laid back down. And so I'm laying there just getting all cozied up in my bed and trying to go back to sleep. And then I start hearing just all this whimpering. And so I start trying to hear it. And I'm cute. And this has happened so many days. And the reason I'm talking about this is because it has to do with this same energy that is trying to disrupt me. And I have been watching this. So because I've checked on this several times and this has been happening for weeks, but it happened again this morning. It's been happening more consistently, more fast. But so I got up and I walked out and she's just laying there asleep and there's no sounds at all. I'm like, who is making these sounds? Who is making all this noise? There is somebody making some kind of noise interference to keep pulling my attention. And it has happened so many times, like where I'll hear like voices and stuff. And this is the same thing as like when people say, oh, my house is haunted. There's somebody in there talking. There's somebody walking around and stuff. And it's not that kind of haunting. It's some kind of beings or it's some kind of interference. I don't know. It's definitely, I'm just going to keep on saying there's some of us that are being harassed. It could be all of us. It could be every single fucking person is being harassed by some sort of energy that's trying to stay alive and wants to keep us in this dark place, with that same energy. So it keeps pulling us back. And it could be we're all experiencing it, but not everybody has awareness of it. But I definitely have awareness of it. And there's harassment going on. And not only that, this is so frustrating too. like, my TikTok will get in this dormant phase where just they won't let it go at all. You just don't see my videos at all. Like I said before, especially for how many I record, I would see my videos when I was on before, and I would be going through the FYP page or whatever, just going through the main thing where you just flip, 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 flip. And I would see myself like 20, 30 times a day. I would constantly have to go past my videos. I haven't seen one of my videos in months. Months I haven't seen one of my videos. And the a couple weeks ago, because it had been so stagnant for so long, that a couple weeks ago, then I had my phone was down. I pick it up and I was looking at it. It was like it had been an hour or something. It had 36 new followers and a ton of likes and stuff. And then every fucking time you'll go on and you'll look and you go, oh, this video is moving way too fast. It's gonna go down again. And immediately, it doesn't even give you like a couple weeks or something, just immediately goes into screech, brakes, screw, and stops all action. And like yesterday, I got up, I had 10 notifications. 10. What the fuck? All night long. 10. This morning, I get up, 9. 9 notifications all night long. Are you fucking kidding me? And I'll tell you another thing that's even weirder is that I keep getting messages from TikTok saying, oh, go check your page. You've got 99 new likes. You go on and it's like 9, 2, 1. They'll allow me like 1 follower, I don't know, every 10 hours or something. And, I don't even know. It's reached such a point of frustration. And I keep seeing all these other people talking about different things. A lot of the people who go on live, and I think live is a scam. I think that is a way that they pull people in. I think they have like their little police that go in and they find something to take you down, because so many people get taken down off doing lives and their account will get banned and all sorts of stuff. So there's a lot of people on TikTok who are frustrated, who are saying, my account's banned, my account is, you get account warnings and stuff, and people show like their account is in a warning and they're going to be banned and permanently banned and all that. And the one girl, the one I was talking about, what was in this, the battle between the conservative and the liberal ladies. They argue back and forth. And yesterday, this was so cool. And this is why I like this girl. She just is deep. She may be in these stupid arguments with these people, but she really does have good points to make. And she really is trying to, I think, I don't want to pick sides or something, but it definitely seems like it's the liberals who start throwing the fucking mud first. And it seems like that they all feel like it is it's acceptable. Fucking Joe, he's going out and saying, I saw some fucking old man, liberal guy, is saying it's perfectly fine to shoot an unarmed woman. I was like, aren't you the fucking anti-gun people? But it's okay. An unarmed, I'm sure, conservative woman, or she's at church or something like that. It's just weird how they turn these people so against God and religion and humanity and other humans and stuff. It's so bizarre. It's like, where is your fucking compassion? And no, just no compassion or empathy, And so yesterday, she said, I know my stuff's always political, but there's something important I really need to say. And she said, and it was, the reason I'm telling is because it's exactly what I've been talking about. But she said that anybody who thinks parenting is easy, don't go into parenting thinking it's easy. Don't go into parenting thinking like you're going to have this kid and it's going to make your life better or something. And she was saying that every thing, like every bit, unless you go and heal all of your childhood wounds before you have kids, the kids are going to pull all those up. It's going to just be, and you're going to repeat your parents' behaviors. And it's exactly what I was talking about. It's exactly what I've been trying to make the point of. Why I know we'll go into a period of time where we do spend time healing and stuff, healing our childhoods before we jump in and start our own family. It has all been a part of the destruction of humanity. And it's because we've been residing in hell. I mean, just be honest, we're in hell. So the all of this stuff is for that experience. So we do have an understanding of some of this stuff. But it's so dark. I just saw this other person talking about what was it? I saw so many because they were talking about that this is hell and this is the vibration of hell and everything that we think of being hell, that this is it. But they were reading something. It was some sort of book or something. I'm not sure, but it was like, yeah, this is exactly. We think of, if we think of hell, we think of a place that is toxic where, we can't get ahead. We are just going around in circles. We're just hopeless and helpless. We just feel in fear and just repressed all the time. Like, this is that energy. We are in that life. We're in that experience of like hell. And it's funny that we can be in this and people think it could get worse. Like, it could be worse than this. Like, this is horrible. This stuff going on in China, fucking horrible, man. I just saw a video. It was a woman and she was talking to her own kid in Chinese. And the caption said, this is a Chinese quarantine camp. And so for the thing, because we got to be locked away, children especially. So it looked like a prison, literally. It was a single story, and it was just white, long, long building with just a window. And I'm not sure. I don't think there was any door. I think it was just a window and then another window. But there could have been a door, window. Because you could tell it was like little cubicles, like little prison cells this whole way down. And all the lights were on. Like, that's some bullshit there. It's dark outside. All the lights are on. They fuck with your rhythm. I know that is part of the whole thing with the light bulbs. The light bulbs are something to fuck with our rhythm and our sight. I can totally tell how much my sight is disrupted, especially when I turn on this UV light. The whatever it's called, the depression light. It really messes with my eyes. My eyes are so much better, though. I swear to God, if anybody is having any problems with their eyes, I swear, get the zeolite. Even if you just wear glasses, I swear I would try it. Get the zeolite spray stuff. And there's all sorts of I know it's kind of expensive. It depends on what you need to spend your money on and stuff. I would choose to spend it on this rather than, expensive shampoo. And I'm not happy with either of these shampoo bars. So if anybody has any recommendations, I like the shampoo bars because it cuts down on the plastic bottles. So, because it bothers me. I've done videos before about all of the fucking, like, you order something and it comes in with all this packing and shit and all this plastic. It's so they make money. They just do this shit just so they make money. And then all of this plastic, so they can make money, has to be put somewhere. And we don't, that's the resources they're fucking us on. It's nonsense. Fucking nonsense. And plastic bottles, and there's nothing you can do. Why the hell don't they sell glass bottles and then you go down to a place and you can just fill whatever shampoo or whatever you want? You go to a filling station and fill up your glass bottle. Then we don't have all this plastic. But then who's not making money? These fucking Rockefeller, Rothschild, Petroleum, motherfucking greedy bitches. So there's so much better ways, but I'm not exactly super happy with the Viore or the Earthling shampoo bars. I always just feel like it looks like there's like a some sort of weird coating on my hair or something, and it gets sudsy. And I know, and I always give it a lot of benefit of the doubt because I put so much oil on my skin. And I think, well, it's gets in my hair. But when you go in and you wash it and then you come out and it still has it, it's like, okay. And it gets sudsy. It's not like you put it in and there's no suds. Like I've washed it 2 or 3 times. It's total suds and then it's still. So I don't know. I'm still shopping around on that. But the zeolite and the oxygen water. So I would definitely recommend the 2 of them because the oxygen is, I think, we all need this more oxygen in our blood. I think that they do so much stuff to interfere with the toxins and stuff that it is messing with all of is what's making people sick. So if you, it's 10 drops in a glass of water, and and you can do it twice a day, and there's tons of people doing it. It says gives them more energy, it helps with your lungs and stuff, but it's my eyes. I can't. Yesterday even I was looking around and I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe how clear I see. And not just clear, it's just like everything is so much sharper and brighter. And I still have a couple of little things that'll slide through and interfere, but oh my gosh, is no comparison to what I have been dealing with. I mean, I'm only even saying that just to be fully honest about the whole thing and not build it up too much. But for me, I feel like, oh my gosh, and I'm not even gonna say it's a miracle because I don't think it's a miracle. I think it's the fucking shit they hide from us. It's what they do to keep us sick because we're in hell. So, they keep us sick. And besides the fact, hell, it's just, it's not a real place. It's a state of mind. And we are in that low vibration state of mind. This is a hellish place. So as far as I'm concerned, hell doesn't exist in the concept of a dark place. It's just on fire and all people are chained down and screaming and crying. And this guy with big horns walks around monitoring, and all these little creepy devil people, hold us back and stuff like that. I don't think that exists, but anybody with their consciousness can create it for themselves. So if you really believe in it, you can create it for yourself. And if you really think you deserve that, you can go have that experience. That's what your consciousness can do. It's that strong. It's got those abilities. It creates the world it wants. And so it's what you put your energy into, what you believe is true or real. Just like, if you, I've said this so many times, like if you want to go meet Jesus and go to heaven and sit at the feet of God, you can create that. You can make sure that that happens for yourself if that's what you want to experience. It's whatever you want to experience. It's just that they have kept us so small that we don't realize anything about consciousness and about what we're doing here and stuff. And it's all just based on lies because it's all about this controlling our energy and our consciousness. And man, this morning they were showing me stuff that was so deep in that. I don't even know how to explain some of the stuff, like what they show me, but about consciousness and about how the whole trap and how they use it and then putting it in to these other things. Like they're trying to merge this whole thing with AI and human, like they don't see us anything more than AI. Now there's something with the AI and them being sentient or something. Like they have to respect them like humans. So see what I'm saying? Like they're writing the rules here, and it's the rules that we allow by our own consciousness that we say, oh yeah, that's okay. That's okay. That's why I keep saying, you got to know inside yourself, this is not okay. This is not what I want. This isn't what I want for myself. So, anyways, I wanted to say this one thing. It keeps popping back in and popping back in. So, well, I was so tired yesterday, and my daughter called, and she has the dog that has cancer, and she was saying that she was going to go to the lake. And Stella was so bored. She's been so bored. She just to come and sit and cry. And then I will think like something's wrong. But then as soon as I get up, if I say, oh, you want to go outside? Oh, suddenly she's fine. She's perfectly fine. Let's go outside. Let's go for a walk. Let's go do something. So, that's why I think like it's out of boredom. And she'd come and sit by me and cry and cry and cry. Like, this is horrible. It's like, girl, I know. And so then, so after my daughter said that, I was like, oh my God, I'm so tired. I'm so dead. I can't even do anything. I can't even move. And then she just got way more, just like coming up, pushing up on me, putting her head up on me, and just looking at me with those puppy dog eyes, crying, Mom. So I was like, would you want to go for a walk? And jumps up, so excited, runs to the door. And so I told her, well, you want to go to the lake? And I said, you have to get in the car. You have to get out of the car and stuff. And, God made her nervous. And she ran out to the gate like, well, let's just go walk out to the street. It's like, no, I'm not going to walk around the street. Besides the fact I knew I did not have the energy to even hold on to the leash like that. And I've been yanked down in the street way too many times. It's like, no fucking way. And so I got her to get in the thing and we went to the lake, and it was really pretty. It was really pretty, and there was lots of people out there. And the sky was weird. The clouds were just weird, of course. And but when she was out there, she was walking around and stuff. Oh my gosh. I can't even believe. And so we went from a couple months ago where I wasn't even sure for sure what happened. I mean, she ran at the fence, and that's always a precursor to her hips getting sore. And, so many times she's gone out and ran at the fence with the dog, at the neighbor dog, they run back and forth barking at each other. It's like some dog game. And but it's very much like you have to shift your hips back and forth, and so that just kills her. And she will come in, and then she'll sit and cry and limp around like, oh. So I'm constantly telling her, you can't do that, you can't do that, you can't do that. And she seems to be catching on, like, because you got to just be consistent. You got to use the same words, no run, and I'll explain things to her. But anyways, she seems to be catching on. But so when it started, it was something like that. She came in, she was just, sore. She kept me up all night. I gave her some medicine. And then I think the next day it was kind of like that. And then I think it was the third day where she couldn't get up. She just couldn't even get up. And she was just crying. She was like, she would start trying to get up and she would just start turning in circles and stuff. And she was just, oh my God, it was horrible. And she just kept crying and crying. And I was like, oh my gosh, her hips are this bad? Like, what in the hell? And I mean, like right now she's struggling to get up. And yesterday we did have a big day. She went and she walked all around the lake. She walked up and down stairs across the bridge. She was having so much fun. She's just walking and walking. Even somebody came up to me when I was getting her in the car and started talking about how cute she was, that they've been watching her. Because, there's other dogs out there and they'd go up and start barking, and she just keeps walking and just does her thing. And most people get really intimidated when they see her. There was even one little kid, like the one little kid, that I had seen when we were on our trip. He was so scared he was walking backwards and fell and then's crying. And it's like, she didn't do this. And then this one yesterday too, he was walking backwards just terrified. So a lot of dogs and kids get really scared because she's so big. She's really big. I mean, I think she's bigger than what people imagine when I say she's big. She's bigger probably than you imagine when I say that, because she really stands out apparently, because people come up all the time to say something when we're out. And so she what was I going to say? But the people were, yeah, so she couldn't walk and she was scooting around. So I was just like, and she was just crying. Like, I don't remember. There was a couple days that were so dramatic. And I had emailed the ladies that come out and put them to sleep. I was like, man, I don't know, if I need to have an appointment. And so I ended up having like 3 different vets, I think, that I talked to in those couple of days. Those ones, they couldn't come out and see her at all, but they would rush out and put her down if I needed them to do that. Um, but then, but it could take days anyways. So you're still like this giant dog who can't get up is laying there crying. It's fucking horrible, man. And so, um, that, I don't remember if she told me to talk to this other vet. And so I talked to them, and they were, like a week or two to have an appointment. I called her regular one, but that one was when I'd have to get in the car, because these were ones that would come to the house. And she couldn't get in the car because she was so, I mean, she couldn't even get up. And so, and she wasn't eating, nothing like that. And then I don't remember what it was, but I think I was just making her get up to go to the bathroom or something. Maybe she had been laying there for like 12 hours. I was like, you got to get up and go potty. And she couldn't get up. She couldn't get up. So the neighbor came over and helped me. We get her outside. She's falling all over the place. I mean, like we're having to hold each end of her body up and help her with every step. She's falling all over the place. And I was just like, oh my God, I cannot believe her hips are this bad. Like, this is mental. And how did it go so fast? What the hell happened? And so then the neighbor is sitting here talking to me, and she's standing there looking at Stella. She goes, don't you think her face is sagging on one side, like her ear, everything is drooping on one side? I think she had a stroke or something. My friend's dog had a stroke. I think she had a stroke. And so I said, well, I'm going to call the vet then and talk to them. And so I called and I told them, I was talking to all these vets all throughout this couple of weeks that this was going on before I got to the med bed, because I made the appointment with the med bed, and that, and I didn't have the money for that or anything. This is where, this is how manifestation works in my life, is I just direct the energy that I'm doing this, and it just gets done. It just happens. However, and I don't question it. I don't start panicking. Like if I skip my house payment, well, it's not something that I need to worry about. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, to me, when you manifest, I've talked about this so many times, like if I want to go on a vacation, you just start planning the vacation. You don't start trying to figure out everything else. You just start planning it and figuring out what you need, and it just starts coming. You just don't have that be where you hold back. Oh no, I can't do that. I'll never have enough for that. I never can do that. Just start planning it. Just start planning it. Direct the energy, and you make things happen. So anyways, I was trying to, help her, whatever it was, we were having to help her. And then my daughter came, she drove over, and this was all happening. It was really quick, because I really thought I was going to have to put her down. I mean, she couldn't get up. She couldn't walk. It was fucking horrible. She didn't eat for, I think one of the times it was like she didn't eat for 5 days. Then she ate a meal. Then she didn't eat for 4 days. And then she ate a meal. And then she didn't eat for 3 days. And it was just like, it was really hard. And then, so I got her to the vet. And I think the neighbor helped me get her in the car and stuff. We got her to the vet. And then he's the one who said it's some sort of, I can't remember what it's called, some sort of inner ear infection that is deep down. So it affects your balance and stuff. It's the same thing as like when we get, what is that called? People get it all the time. Tendinitis. It seemed kind of like that. Like I've been with somebody who had that, and they couldn't get up, and they kept, leaning and falling and stuff. And when that happened to me that one day when I fainted, I didn't faint all the way. I just blacked out, and I sat down real quick. And I went to the ER, went to the doctor, and they said, oh, we think you're having a stroke, and sent me to the ER, and that fucking double mask weirdo just was stuck. Oh, that's all it is. That's what it is. And it's like, I got so fed up that I finally said, just test it then. And that's the only test I've done. And I really wish I wouldn't have even done that one. I'm irritated to myself that I did that one. But I was so sick of this guy. Wouldn't even talk to me about anything except for that. It's like, you fucking weirdo. And then when I asked him something, he said, something about what was being talked about in 2020, which is out in the open now, and everybody's talking about it, and, throwing stones like, we told you, we told you. But when I asked that guy, oh, we believe in real science here. We don't believe in that, like Trump science or something. I was like, okay, double mask. Yeah, I trust you with my health. Fucking weirdo. So, because he had on one of these and then a whole shield. I was like, oh my God. I worked in the ER. Like, you don't have any, you deal with sick people all the time. And you gotta, put yourself out there to build your immune system. And sometimes you do get sick. But you don't, I can't even go off on that again. I've talked about that shit too much in the beginning. Like, it's just so stupid. But, and when I had that, I couldn't hold my head up. So, it made sense what he was saying, but he didn't test for anything else. But he did want me to do blood thinners, which I wouldn't stay doing, especially because she kept falling. And she has fallen. She fell out of the car on the way to the med beds. She fell out of the car 2 times trying to get out. And she just fell and just tumbled. It was, and then she got so freaked out. And that's why she gets really freaked out getting in the car right now. And I know I'm talking about this for a long time. But there's a point to it. So she went and we went to the med beds, and because I think she took an antibiotic and an anti-nausea. That one was, I think, the most important, because the dizziness, I think, makes her really nauseous, and she was having a hard time eating. And looking down, I still think there's something weird with her eyes. And so the tendinitis thing, to me, I think it was supposed to be completely cleared up in 2 weeks. That was even stretching it out. It shouldn't have gone on like a super long time. And whatever her symptoms kept going and going and going and going. And when I had called originally and I said, I think maybe my dog had a stroke, and she was like, well, you're going to have to bring her in. It could be a brain tumor. I was like, what? A brain tumor? And so, then that put those 2 things in my mind, a stroke and a brain tumor. Because I've been saying this whole time, I know it's the fucking chemicals. It is the fucking chemicals. And think about it on your dogs when they're outside and they get it all over their skin. Then they come in and lick it. It's like it absorbs through their coat, and then they lick it and get it right into their stomach. Like, they get a big dose of all these chemicals. More than us. We don't sit there and lick our skin, but we're absorbing it through our skin, through our eyes, through our everything on our body that's open, our fucking hair follicles. So she was not getting better. She was doing better with her walking. She was able to walk more, but she wasn't getting fully better. She was still kept falling over and leaning, and her face was all drooped to one side. And so we went to the med beds, and I was having great hopes, I thought, with my eyes and with her health. And it was, if there was any improvement with my eyes, it was really, really small, because I was really hoping to go out the next morning and clear and be able to see, but it wasn't like that. It seemed like I could kind of see a little better, but it was still, there was a lot of interference. So, and she was still having a hard time. She didn't want to get in the car. She didn't want to get out of the car. It was just freaking her out. So we get to the little farm, because I wanted to drop off all those necklaces. We get to the little farm, and oh my gosh, she loved it. We had a huge hard time to get her out of the car. It took 2 people, and took I don't know, not an hour, but it took a long time to get her out of the car, because she'll just keep running back and trying to hide. And she's heavy and she's big. And so then it ended up, somebody got behind her and pushed her, and the other person helped her get down, and I'm pretty sure she still fell, but not as bad as the times when we were on the way to the med beds. But so she fell out, and then we stayed there for a couple days, and she loved it. She was walking and walking, and there was an incline, and my ex was talking about how good that incline because when he had gotten back, his dog had gone paralyzed, and the little walk is what's helped her get movement back. And that is a whole nother long story about a groomer incident in a dachshund. But anyway, so for Stella, I could see there was a huge amount of improvement being out there, supposedly fresh air. I mean, right now, did you see what just happened in the bay? All of these dead fish, they're, god damn, in the fucking ocean. Like the poison, oh my god. Yes, just, it is the end of all things. All of these things are ending. Like the waters, there's going to be way more water. There's going to be less land and more water, but god damn, it's fucking rough. Like, I haven't even, I go out and rake my yard and keep all of the pine cones up, or pine leaf. There's usually not all these fucking pine needles everywhere. Even if I go out to sit on the furniture on the deck, you have to sweep it off every time. It's just covered with pine needles. It's just nonstop. And I haven't been out going out and sweeping them. It's hard because it's just like death everywhere around me. With the nature and stuff, it's just, oh, so sad. So anyways, we went to the farm thing, and I thought she had done so much better. She was doing so much better. We get home, and she was doing better. Then I ordered that zeolite stuff and started spraying it in her mouth. And I was doing all of these detoxes too. I've done that diatomaceous earth, charcoal. And then I have 2 mushroom, I think like turkey tail mushroom, and another mushroom that I had heard from people. And then she does the supplements that have glucosamine and turmeric and some other stuff that's for inflammation. So she's doing those. And I can't even tell you, like the more that we go natural and the more that we fight these sicknesses ourselves, just like me getting hep C and not knowing. If I would have known I had hep C, my mind would have played tricks on me and I would have probably stayed sick. I would have probably gone on the medicine that they told me, which would have probably made me even sicker. So not knowing was good, because then you just are taking care of the symptoms. You're just taking care of yourself and you're focused on your health. And so that is what I've been trying to do with her, is just focus on her health and stuff. But I can't even tell you, yesterday her being able to get in the car, she got out of the car. She didn't want to go out the back. She showed me she wanted to go out the side door. She got out the side door. She didn't fall. She went up and down stairs. She was walking around. She was having such a good time. And it was so much different. I mean, there's such a huge improvement over the couple months. And I'm going to say it has a lot to do with the zeolite. I just feel certain of it. The diatomaceous earth gets out parasites and stuff. The zeolite takes out heavy metals. And that is something that is so toxic to us. I mean, they have got so many kids on this fucking zeolite that is, they're starting to be verbal. They're starting to interact with people. Like all sorts of good things are happening. I've seen so many people on TikToks talking about that they're using that for all sorts of conditions. So any chronic condition you have, there's most of the sickness we have, I would say, I would venture to say 99% of the sickness. I mean, there could be some parasites that also create disease, but I would say 99% is the chemicals and the toxins. That's what's fucking killing us. And it's mostly with the heavy metals and shit. So if you detox yourself, whatever symptoms or problems you're having, it's going to start helping. And I've seen so many lists. It covers so many different illnesses. So I would 100% say that get that zeolite and the oxygen drops. And I'm doing the oxygen drops because of that. It's supposed to be what causes your eyes to go bad is not having enough antioxidants and oxygen. And all I know is my eyes have gotten so much better and still has gotten so much better. So I just wanted to make sure that people like really got, like there was a significant change in Stella. I mean, my eyes, like, um, to me, I know how significant that change is. Like, it's, to me, it's so much. I would want to call it a miracle, except for I know it's not a miracle. I know it's just using what we need to use to make ourselves better, that's available to us, that is just hidden from us. So, but it's huge. But the difference in Stella, when I was seriously gonna have her put down when she couldn't get up. I didn't know what else to do. I thought you can't just have a dog that is suffering like that can't even get up. I was like, that's just cruel for me to keep her here. And then plus she's just crying unless she is conked out on medicine. Then she just lays there crying. It's like, how much pain is she in? Winston had cancer and never got uncomfortable until, well, I got him put down when he started getting uncomfortable. But for so long, he wasn't. He was doing fine. I mean, he was uncomfortable when he was trying to pee. He would just keep trying and trying and trying. And I kept thinking it was like an old man with an enlarged prostate or something. That's what I thought he was having, like something like that. But it was a cancer tumor or something that was blocking or whatever. Or was it a whole bunch? Was it, I don't know. When they came to put her down, put him down, they said that they could tell by the smell it was cancer. It was horrible. Like that 6 months or whatever I did when he had cancer during the first part of quarantine. Oh my gosh, the smell. Ugh, it was sick. Now I get kind of weirded out when she starts having these weird smells. And but I kind of think it is something with the detoxing on her. So I don't know. But, like I know Vortex was saying, she was having stuff with her dogs. I'm saying just try this stuff because, I mean, when 6 out of 6 dogs are dying of cancer because it's fucking the toxins. So we just really got to take the toxins and the chemicals serious. That's what I know. And they're the heavy metals especially. So, the zeolite stuff, I say, we should all have it. We should all have the fucking med bed thing set up in our house. We should all have the fucking heavy metal detoxes. Like, we would all be living so much better and so much healthier. And I've just got so many things like the stuff with the food and, they make the food have no nutrition and then they put all these additives and it makes all these people overweight and it makes them all sick. And then they really believe that that's their true body, that they're doing the best they can. And they're just eating when they're hungry. And it's like they just do all this shit to fuck up your body just to fucking control your consciousness. It's fucking outrageous. And, but, another thing too is this fucking Aries and Tiffany. Oh my God. These people. Plus, I mean, a girl doing that. It's like, dude, what the hell? Is this like, is that a part of like, oh, you make it big, so then you're just, you're supposed to just bring kids to other people who gave you your break or something? Like, what the hell kind of bullshit? And, but it really, really has people talking. Like, and that's the, the hand of God. That's the disclosure coming in. It gets people talking. Somebody starts talking about that. Well, what else happens? It just really opens up the conversation. And, and then, some of them, their mind can absorb some of it more. It's a lot to take in what this world is and what it's being run by and who's doing it and stuff. Like, it's really, I just all of a sudden I got a flash of, because I saw this thing with Sean Penn and Ben Stiller with, they're going over, they've shown who they are. They've gone over and taken a stand. They've all shown us like who they are. And another thing with Ben Stiller, I was watching this movie one day and the guy in the movie looked exactly like Tom Cruise and Ben Stiller put together. Like, it was so fucking weird looking. I even posted it and told other people because I see a lot of these people, like I said, these new people who is like, they totally get these people, like say Ben Stiller, and he goes through, makes movies or whatever, gets his opportunity, his chance to sell his soul. He's, hell yeah, let's do this. And then he at some point in there, it must be some way that they give their DNA, like, and maybe they don't even realize that they're doing it and what it's for. Maybe they're just getting blood tests and they have to go to a certain place, at an agency, and get the blood test, and then the blood's taken down to the clone factory, and then they, here's some of his and here's some of his, and then the little fucking white coats go in and, oh, let's take a little of this and a little of that and let's make this guy. And then they create these little babies in these tubes, and they're like, hey, we kind of like this one. Let's put it inside this lady. And, that is as crazy and as sci-fi as that sounds. I believe that's what they're doing, for sure. And this guy, he looked like Tom Cruise and fucking Ben Stiller had a kid together. I was like, what is the chances of that? And when I go on to TikTok and stuff like that, like, you see some people and they look kind of like familiar, like they look kind of like a movie star that you've seen before or something, but most people just look like, I don't know. I know that we all have some sort of look-alike, but how do they all end up in the movie? How does this person's look-alike all end up in the movies? It's not because they're so fucking gorgeous. I mean, you go like Ben Stiller's the most gorgeous thing in the world. Do you say, I don't think Tom Cruise is. I think Tom Cruise, I've never liked Tom Cruise. I know he was like a big heartthrob for a lot of ladies for a long time. And probably some kind of drifted off when they found out how tiny he was. But there's a lot of, I mean, he was a big old heartthrob there for a while. I didn't think he was cute. So, whatever. I've seen so many young actors that look just like Tom Cruise. So do they just grow up and go, man, I look like Tom Cruise, I'm going to go get in the movies? And then somebody goes, oh yeah, you look like Tom Cruise, we're going to put you in a movie. And, I don't know. I think no matter what, if that does happen, they're still doing the other thing. They're still taking, because right now they have a whole thing that is being marketed. I can't even remember the name of the company, but it is, you can buy sausage made out of your favorite star cells. They grow it in a lab, just like they're growing the fake meat. It says that in the ad. They're growing artificial meat, and they're growing your favorite movie star cells to create sausage. Like, oh, this grosses me out. Like, do the cells grow into an arm and then they chop it up and then they feed it to you? Like, what the fuck? It's disgusting. And just the concept is disgusting. There's such a push on this fucking cannibal bullshit. It's fucking disgusting. I was eating peanut butter all the time. And then a fucking course, that there is garbage in some of this stuff, but then this lady, she did one and did what all the ingredients are. And there's fucking there's so much garbage and fucking peanut butter. Like, oh my God. And they make this shit taste good with all their flavoring and fake shit. Because now every time I even just think, oh, I want to have some peanut butter crackers. And then it's like, gross. It's just, because then all of the good taste is just the flavor mask of all the gross ass shit in it. And that it is just making us sick. Even like, I have a whole bunch of dry beans, and I made some dry beans the other day. I made pinto beans. And I used to make them all the time when I was younger. A lot of times I had to cook like that just because I was poor. I didn't have a lot of money. So I would use dried beans and stuff like that. And I made some the other day. And I had noticed this a couple of weeks or over the last few times I've made them. But the beans are not the same. They're not the same as when I was younger and made them. Maybe I just got some shitty beans, but it's been a couple of packages. But they're just not good. Like, just like everything else. It's kind of like, mushy peach or something. There's just something that's off. Like, there's just something that isn't right with them. And it's, they're just messing with all of the stuff. With every bit of the food, they're doing something. And, killing all the fish in all these different places. I just feel bad for the fish and shit. I feel bad for everything that is being attacked. Like, I know we're not going to starve to death. There probably will be some people who will. The stuff in Pakistan is just horrible. Horrible and outrageous. The stuff in China, horrible and outrageous. Oh, yeah, because I didn't even finish that. The lady was out there, and what she was filming was, all the lights were on in these windows, but all of the windows were little kids up in the windows screaming for food because nobody's fucking feeding them. Ugh. God damn. And there is this one girl on TikTok, and she's just, I mean, like how I seem like I'm coming across right now, she's 10 times more. She's just so fed up. She's so tired. She's so sick of the censorship. She's so sick of all the bullshit. She's just so, and she keeps trying to share stuff about the traffic and borders and the cartel, especially because the more you know, the more you find out. That's who's running us. I mean, when you look at some of these other countries, they were being run by cartels and terrorists, because that is the deep state. That is, these countries are just more, that's what they're trying to do to us right now, is what they've done to these other ones. And they're destroying these other ones. And it seems like they're kind of herding everybody into a localized place. Because that's, and then, so they herd us all in there, and there's no food. Then what's going to go down? People going to start eating each other? Like a bunch of fucking rats that are stuck in a fucking thing with no food? And it seriously is like a zombie. I saw another person walking around a downtown. I don't know where this one was, but could have been Chicago. I don't know why I was thinking like there was the train thing was up above. Seemed like, but I could be just interfering that in my mind. But anyways, he's walking around downtown, and it's just all these people that are just out of it on drugs. And they're all just bent over. It's just so sad, man. So sad what they're doing. But it is the end of an era, but it's the end of this space and time. Oh, which I'll tell you another thing too that is weird, that I saw this this girl, and she was doing a stitch with this guy. And so this guy was saying that in your dream, if you can do lucid dreaming, go up to somebody in your dream and ask them what day and time it is. And he said something like, you'll be surprised, or something like that. So then this girl who was stitching it, she said, I'm a lucid dreamer, so I did this last night. I think she was taking she fell asleep in the daytime and was dreaming. And so she said that she was on a merry-go-round, and she saw the other people around her, and so she wanted to ask them, but she thought asking them what time it was a little too intrusive, so she decided just to ask him what day it was. And she said, she turned around to the guy behind her, and he was looking at her, and so she said, do you know what day it is? And she said that it was the weirdest thing. She said it was like all of a sudden, like his whole thing changed, and all of the people all started looking at her, and he started talking gibberish, just saying a bunch of nonsense. And she said she knew she did something wrong. And so and I don't know why this guy would do this. But so she said that she hopped out of that dream and went directly into another one, and she was driving And then when she was driving, she went off the road, and she said immediately this guy pulls up in this white car and asks her to get in. He's going to take her to his castle or something. And she knew that she had done something wrong and she needed to get out of these dreams. I was like, oh my God, that is so creepy. So I don't think I would ask anybody about what day or time it is. And, when you go into dream space, how many of us are really the beings or people we think are in our dream are really consciousness that are experiencing that experience as we experience it. So it's not just her formulating these pretend people in her dream, because that was another thing I had seen, that in the one thing about this being hell was that we are living in a dream. We're always in a dream, whether we're asleep or awake, we're in a dream. And then it was going through the whole thing about hell and stuff. And then I saw this other one talking about those dreams and stuff. I keep having this stuff happen where I keep getting the same kind of information over and over and over and over. And so she was saying that merged too many things. So one girl, anyways, I would not go and ask them about the date and time, because there is no time we have time is a created structure to control us, and time doesn't really exist in the way that we think it exists. There's no measurement of time except for here, and that is, it could be another reality somewhere else, but it's not like a real thing. Time has no significance. The experience is what has significance. So this isn't our real life, like I've said about a zillion times. This isn't real life. This is really truly a dream. This is really truly like a movie. Like you're just in a movie. And the man, I keep getting really lost. So anyways, so there is no time and space. Like if you, in our real life, in our dead life, when we're really alive, then we don't have, it's all based on experience. It's based on like where you want to go learn, and when you want to go, what do you want to learn from that experience? So it is about that. It isn't about like, oh, well, I'm going to go to the 1800s. It's not like that. And I'm going to go live, 50 years. And that whole concept of time was created here so that they could trap us into the time loop, kind of. Like there's even a whole thing about why they tell us like there's 24 hours in a day, when literally there's 12 hours in a day at best. Sometimes through the year, what do we have? 8 hours of day? And they want it because the whole thing was, so we didn't think 8 hours of work, that's not that much. It's your whole fucking day. So it's all a manipulation to get us to perceive a certain way, because, we are the creators of this reality that they put out what they want, and then we create it for them. And it's sick. And we're the ones creating all of this hellish stuff. We're the ones who are making this place hellish. They make it hellish, but we participate. I don't know how to say it any different. And then you have people participating on every level. There's people that are so cut off to their own spirit that they're just out as criminal as anybody else. Like there's people who are doing the crimes besides the deep state. They're actually souls, and it's that whole thing then with the good and evil and bad and good and balance and who's here teaching who lessons. Because even the sick stuff with like Tiffany and Aries, and you think, well, why would that kid be born? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Why would this kid be born in allow this situation to happen? Because, why would I be born to a pedophile? I have compassion. I have empathy for kids. I would never hurt a kid. Well, could the people who are hurting kids have never had that experience, and that is why they think it's okay to hurt kids, because they don't know what it's like to be a kid that's hurt. So you do learn. There is a reason why we go through every single experience, because we actually learn and we actually evolve. We actually understand things on a deeper level. And like, I think around us, we just have a lot of people who don't understand some things, and so that they do things that are mean and hurtful because they're here to learn. They're here to learn about that. And this time is a very significant time for souls. It's very impactful on your learning and your evolution of all the stuff that is going on right now and everything that is happening. And there is stuff happening with time. There's stuff happening with space. There's stuff happening in the skies all around us. There's stuff happening on emotional levels. There's stuff happening on spiritual. People are seeing people in their houses. Like, there's just so much stuff going on that is bringing us out of this stupor into reality of really being awake and really understanding and really starting to live life by our own determination. Like, we decide what we want and then put it into action, and we step into the steps of what it is that we desire for ourselves, instead of sitting back on the stoop and saying, oh, I can never have what I want. I can never have what I want. To really get to the understanding, yes, you can, but you have to know you deserve it. You have to, in your heart, know you deserve what you want. And then you will make it happen for yourself. Until then, you're just learning all the lessons to learn your own value, so you can learn how to love yourself. And, people just don't realize how significant it is to be able to love yourself. There is no love beyond loving yourself. If you can't love yourself, you can't love anybody. You can't love your dog. You can't love anything or anybody until you truly love yourself. And you may be putting out, happy feelings sometimes towards this, but it's not on the same level as what we think of being love. Like, we're moving into a time of love, and people are going to find out that love comes from within. And you can't be putting out love if you don't have it inside of you, if you don't love yourself, if you're constantly judging yourself, if you're constantly being defensive because you feel attacked by people. You don't truly love yourself. And the only way I have found to truly love yourself is to accept yourself. The only way to accept yourself is to face yourself. In order to face yourself, you have to face your traumas. You have to face what you feel was done wrong to you, or what you've done wrong in the world. You have to face those things and heal them. And, there's a lot of times you can think, well, I healed that, but maybe you didn't go deep enough. And so then some other situation will come in life to force you to go deeper, because it is so much multi-level. You can't just reach everything that you want just right on the surface. You have to go deeper. And there's deep wounds inside of us from our childhoods, from past lives, from our mere existence. So you do have to go in deeper. And I just saw this girl, and she was talking about, she was saying, don't focus on your past lives right now. Don't focus on anything in the past. So I was listening, and I was like, well, what the hell? Where is she going with this? And because to me, it's like, you have to face what is holding you back. And it's obviously not the future. How's that holding you back? You're being held back by the past. You're being held back by, what was done to you, and in turn, what you did to somebody else, because, you felt like you were treated like shit. And so you turn around and you treat others like shit, and it's going to end up haunting you. Those things bother you. They bother you much more than people realize how much that you carry. Just holding a grudge on people. It's a lot of energy to carry around and be putting out. It's active energy to hold a grudge. So it's about releasing all of that stuff, letting that energy out of you, purging that energy out of you and healing it. And so when she was saying that stuff, I was like, well, that's weird. Why would she be saying that? And then she got to the end and she was going, but I'm not saying don't heal. Like, you need to heal. Just don't get stuck living back there. Well, you shouldn't ever get stuck. If you're healing it, you should be letting it go. That's the whole point. There shouldn't be anything being stuck. But I think that there is some people who really get into just focusing on their past lives. Like, that is, I think, part of the light and love kind of group or something. But I think that one of the things too, I was thinking about this yesterday. I do think a lot of the light and love is more of the liberal progressive. Like, I think a lot of the witch talks and stuff like that, I think a lot of them are liberal. And like the conservatives, they would be more into the church and Bible. I mean, they are very much more, their stuff is much more in the box. Like the conservatives stay in the box by the rules and by the book, and then they don't want, the government coming in and stepping on their toes. Like, they know they have human rights because they understand about God, or even if it's through the Bible, they understand that they have human rights. They're a creature of God. They're not of this earth. So if you are a creature of God, then no man can really be telling you what to do. So they have that on their side. Like, they have that in their inner knowing. Like, fuck you. I'm a creature of God. I'm not yours. I'm not your fucking puppet or whatever. And so the government, is coming at them. And that's why, now the government's got to say that they are the biggest risk. They're the problem. It's like the Jews were. So then the other ones, they are, they want everybody to have rights, and they, we're very compliant. Well, we'll do whatever because we just don't want to interfere, infringe on anyone else's rights. We're just all about, everybody being free, right, or free with free will, or not free will, because they have the whole thing about, they're the ones who get all stuck on the changing their gender. And I don't know. I just know that in the spiritual movement that we have a lot of division, just like with all of these things, like the division between men and women, like so many things like with that all the time. Like, and I see a lot of men make really good points. Really good points. Like, this one guy was saying, my son, now he's the age, he's interested in the ladies, and he wants to, he'll go out, and his son will come home and go, hey, did you talk to any ladies today? And he goes, yeah, I walked up, I tried, but they just laughed at me. And the guy was just like really disgusted, especially, he said, when I go on TikTok and I see these ladies who aren't even, like some beauty queen or anything, just, regular women. And they will go on TikTok crying and screaming and looking for support because someone talked to them. And in this case, this guy told her she was very beautiful, and she's just screaming and crying. And, how dare him come up and tell me something like that? And this guy was like, this is why men don't want to go up and talk to any women anymore. We don't want to. Why would we put ourselves out there so we can be a joke and be made fun of on TikTok? And it's weird. There is something weird going on with the women right now. I mean, when you got them out there screaming and crying because they want the right to kill a baby, it's like, oh my gosh, they're just so disconnected. And then, like I said, they don't have the thing that turns on to them about, chemicals and all of the toxins and stuff. So it's like a pretend spirituality, because spirituality is when you connect with your spirit. I don't know. I don't know. One thing too, because I know I've been talking a long time. I know I talked a long time about still in the health, but I really want to make a point about how sick she really was and how it's so different. just over a couple months, just doing detoxing and stuff. She only took pharmaceuticals for like the first couple days, and they didn't do anything. And I get so put off. And then I can always tell because she'll come up and smell something, and she can smell the chemicals and she'll walk away. She doesn't want them. So, I just really think that there's a good point of us really taking care of ourselves. And it has to be with the food, everything, but the detoxing and getting the heavy metals out for sure. But to me, my spirit has been guiding me. Just like when I was talking about in the very beginning, and I've said this periodically throughout about the different exercising. Like I started doing like all these different movements and just listening to my body. My body tells me to do this. My body tells me to do that. I started doing it. And then I see, oh, that is some kind of, I think it's called Kwandong or something like that. So I was like, oh, I didn't even know I was doing that. Yoga, but I don't go and I do the stretches my body says to do. And so I'll just stretch and contort my body the way my body tells me. And it really makes your body stronger. Don't just try and, I think that's the problem with yoga classes is people, it's the same thing. It's just get into the class. You got to get into the movement, the breathing, and tuning into your body. And I don't think you can do that when somebody says, okay, so now downward dog. Okay, we're going to go into leaning monkey, When I'm here by myself, I'm just listening to my body. I'm doing my breathing. And it is so much better. It really does build your muscles and stuff. And then doing these movements and stuff really does build your energy, your chi around you. And the other day I did this really cool one. I don't even know where it came from, but I had put my arms up, straight up, and then I started doing this swirl. And the top of my body was swirling one way, and the bottom of my body was swirling the other direction. They were swirling in two different directions. It was like so fucking cool. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And you just feel the energy and stuff start going. Like you really build your energy, your aura, your being, your energy really starts going out around you. So I swear to God, say that. And then the other day when I was just saying about this, and I was saying it's so crazy because how many different exercises like that I can do with these. And then I saw a short where the little caption was, I think, what is it called? Weightless. Can weightless exercise really build up your arms or something? And the girl showed her arms and she had nice arms. And then she showed her exercises and it was just like what I said. Just doing these. But when you do it, you can feel the pressure that you put to yourself. So you make that, you build the resistance in yourself. And I'm telling you, stuff like that, like don't get put off if you don't have a gym around you and you think like, oh, well, I gotta go to the gym. To me, that is part of, I used to be a person with the gym. Now I'm just like, no, you don't need a gym. And so much of the exercises and the muscles that I focus on is when I started being on my own and started doing all this work around here and started seeing what muscles you need to do work, to, climb ladders, to pick up heavy things, to hold things above your head, to, the big one for me that I have seen so much changes is because when I was 20 and they took out my gallbladder, so they cut right up here. It was when they used to do the big old slice. So they cut right through all my muscles at the top up here and took a part out. And then, let's see, I think that, I'm trying to think, because both things happened within a few months of each other. I had a C-section and my gallbladder out, all within a few months of each other. And the C-section was all the way down. So my whole torso was cut from the top to the bottom across this way. And this was when I was 20. So I had no idea how weak my whole torso had become, my pelvic floor and stuff. And I know that is all part of the reason why I ended up having to have my uterus out, which gave me the brain injury, like all of this stuff. It all comes down to us being able to understand our bodies and how they work and not listening to them, because every fucking thing they say to us is a goddamn lie. So, I had no idea how weak my torso was until I did start doing yoga, and you had to do balance, and I couldn't do any balance. And during that time when I had very first started, I was already falling. I had fallen so many times. And then it was before I knew about that I had lost my eyesight and my peripheral down here, like that I couldn't see down here, which right now I can see my hand moving. Oh my gosh, that is crazy. I can see my hand. Man, fuck. If it brings back my peripheral vision, motherfucking Jesus Christ, this is insane. So, anyways, when over quarantine and stuff, I have been working on that, and just all I'll do is just stand like a stork. Just try and stand like a stork. Go brush your teeth. Just stand like a stork. And other people, they could have a really strong torso, or what is it? It's called something else. I can't remember what it's called. A core. Maybe they call it a core. Maybe some people have a really strong one, but I didn't. And I think that a lot of women, after having kids and stuff, those muscles just get so weak and so stretched out over and over and over that we don't realize how much weakness that we have got there. And then you go start doing some of those things like the standing and doing balance. Oh my gosh, now I swear to God, I could do like in the Kung Fu Kid when I think, was that called Kung Fu Kid? But remember when what's his name? Was it Mugachi? I can't remember. I'm horrible with names. That when he kept trying to get him to stand and do that thing, I can do that shit. And I couldn't even I couldn't even lift 1 foot up, even this much off the ground before without falling. I had no, now I can be on one leg, I can stand up, I can be on one leg, and I can use the other leg, and I can put it straight out. I can do like bends and stuff with it. I can do all sorts of stuff just with one leg and use the other leg to do all sorts of stuff. It's crazy. And I did all that just myself, just by doing yoga and just standing on one leg. And then do stuff like, there's more exercises. If somebody wanted to know about some of the other ones I've done, I can tell you. But anyways, I'm not kidding. There's so much that we can do for ourselves. It's all a lie. Every fucking thing that they tell you is a lie. And it's all to keep you sick so that you will stay on the pills and stuff. And if I would have stayed on the pills back when I was so sick, if I wouldn't have weaned off, I bet you I would have just died. I would have just gotten a GI bleed. I was already so sick I couldn't even fucking walk. And if I would have stayed, I would have just fucking died, I'm sure. Probably would have just given me cancer. And so, anyways, all I know is that our health, we have more control over our health than we think. We may not be able to do anything about them spraying us and all of the chemicals and stuff they're putting in us. But also, if you're really having a problem finding clean water, there's this Zero filter, and I guess you can buy it on Amazon. I don't know where all you can buy it, but it's called Zero filter. And it's just like a Brita filter, supposedly. It's the same kind of thing, like a pitcher with a little filter. But this filter, like if you use this, the person I saw doing the test, which they were amazed because they saw somebody else doing the test, so they decided to try it, and then they got it, and then they did the test, and it was like it really worked. But to me, since I'm suspicious of everything, it's like, but is that thermostat thing meant to only show this or that? But anyway, she did it on the Brita. No difference. Exact same as if the water just came out of the faucet. And then she did it with the Zero filter. It went down to 100% water. The thing that got me is if it was 100% water, where'd all the chemicals go? It's got a chemical makeup. Shouldn't it be like something left? Like, I don't know. Something weird about it. So, but anyways, if it's all you have and the only chance to get clean water, at least it's a try. I would try it and see, because it really sucks. What they're doing. It just sucks. The whole thing sucks. What they're doing to everybody and what people are going through. This is hard. This is hell. I don't know how anybody can think that this isn't hell. Like, if you don't think this is hell, like, oh, I feel bad. Like, how much worse do you think things can get? And then the way people are just so oblivious and things have to just get worse and worse. And that, I mean, that to me, this Tiffany and Aries thing is so absurd. It's so disgusting. But it's what's going to keep happening. Just outlandish, absurd bullshit is just going to keep happening until everything goes the other direction. And it is going the other direction for some people. Things are really, like I said, there seems to be some spray off. Like things are really about to tip going the other way because things are really going other directions in people's lives. It's the momentum. It's the change that we're moving into. So anyways, I know I've been talking a lot. So I will talk to you later. Bye.